Let me start by saying that a lot of people have forgotten about the authentic assessment movement. And that was a movement in assessment back in the late 1980s, 1990s, when curriculum specialists were really controlling the content and nature of statewide assessments. And they were asking for tests that engaged the kids in the kinds of activities they might be engaged in outside of the classroom, even outside of school. And so those tests involved a lot of non-multiple choice formats, constructed response, performance tasks, portfolios, those kinds of things. And a lot of those measures were targeted towards a lot of the kinds of skills that we're seeing listed in the lists of 21st century skills. So that's not all new. It's not that there isn't some new content anyway. But in any case, it was unfortunate that more recent accountability requirements have caused the states to move away from that type of testing. And so there's been a diminishment in the attention given to that type of skill that was covered by those tests. So what's different about the assessment of 21st century skills is going to be I think the re-emphasis and new increased emphasis on some of the things that we've been measuring in the past, but we stopped and gotten away from. And additionally, I think there are going to be new skills, obviously, that have to be measured, and those include things that are technology related. A lot of those new skills have to do with the use of the computer, access to the internet and information on the internet. And these are things that are new. And as a result, what you're going to see is assessment that is computer-based, but it's not just the use of the computer for test delivery, but the use of the computer because computer skills are part of the skills that are being assessed. It's funny, I've heard many times before that the testing industry is not where people can go for good tests of 21st century skills, and that's just baloney. The people who feel that way are looking at a lot of the current statewide assessments and other tests on the market that really are not tapping 21st century skills very well. They weren't asked to do that. And so I think the industry, if asked to do so, will measure 21st century skills. Remember though, our experience is in measurement, not just multiple choice tests. Some states are editing their content standards, and they're editing them so that they can infuse 21st century skills into the instruction and assessment of core content. I think this is an excellent first step because it's something that can be done now. You don't have to go through a process of standards development and approval that takes many years. And so this is something I think is a reasonable first step. I don't think it's adequate. I think in the long run, what they're going to have to do is almost the opposite. I think content standards, I think tests and assessments should focus on the 21st century skills, and the core content should be infused in the tests and in the standards. I'm convinced that the assessment of 21st century skills and the instruction in them is critical. And it's funny, education has a history of, call it inertia, call it some inability to change, and I think we've got to break that mold somehow. And assessment of 21st century skills, maybe that'll be the thing that works because it is so critical and so essential.